Thank you, Hugh. Good evening, everybody. Another day, another Christmas blockbuster from TalkSport. Over this festive period, you will hear more than 25 live commentaries, and this one is bound to be significant. Forget your Christmas boo movies, scrolling through Netflix to find the one where the boy meets the girl but some caper stops them from getting together. Spoiler alert, they kiss under the mistletoe at the end. If you want real drama, you're in the right place. Arsenal out last night. Newcastle abysmal last night. In the wind and the rain in Stokes. Tottenham just about through. Gareth Bale coming off after scoring with an injury, and Harry Kane on the score sheet again. Tonight, either Carlo Ancelotti or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will go home with a big wide grin for Christmas, or they'll go home like the Grinch. It's a bit like the plot of a movie, being the Manchester United boss. The narrative winds from joy to despair very quickly. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Everton have their own hopes that the latest chapter in their history will end up with a fairy tale ending after making the Hollywood appointment of Carlo Ancelotti a year ago. Let's go through the two teams, starting off with the home team Everton, who pick Robin Olsen in goal, replacing Jordan Pickford. At right back, Coleman returns to captain the team in the place of Mason Holgate. Mina, Keane and Godfrey are familiar to the supporters of Everton, who have seen them develop into quite a rigid three parts of a back four recently. Gomez, Sigurdsson and Decore in midfield, with Iwobi, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison going forward. For Manchester United, well, they make 9 changes from the game against Leeds at the weekend. So out go De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Shaw, McTominay, Fred, James, Rashford and Martial. Henderson is the goalkeeper. Tuanzebe, Bailly, Maguire and Tellez the back four. Matic, Van der Beek, Pogba and Fernandes in midfield. It's a diamond. Cavani and Greenwood up top with Martial and Rashford on the bench. On the bench for Everton, Pickford, Kenny, Holgate, Tosson, Bernard, Gordon and Davies, and Lingard, Fred, Shaw, Grant and Tim Fosu-Mensah are the other replacements tonight for Manchester United. Our referee this evening is Andy Madley. He's had a few games in the Premier League, but often operates at the top of the Championship. And before we start, all 22 players on the field and the officials from both clubs on the sidelines take the knee in a show of support for the fight against racial and social injustice. And it is greeted with warm applause from those away to our left in the Gladys Street and the 2,000 supporters that are here tonight to watch this EFL Cup, Carabao Cup quarter-final between Everton and Manchester United on TalkSport. Well, there's no need to download a movie, no buffering, no loss of connection, no need to flick through and find what to watch. We will curate for you the best of the festive fun right here on TalkSport. Get our app. You'll be able to swipe between TalkSport and TalkSport 2 and all our brilliant podcasts. We thank you for listening. Everton in blue and white, shooting from left to right in the first half. Manchester United in red shirts, black shorts, shooting from right to left. And the former England and Manchester City star Trevor Sinclair is spending Christmas with me. 5 commentaries together between now and New Year's Eve.
Merry Christmas.
You got the short straw, pal, I'm afraid. Who's going to get the short straw tonight?
Well, you know what, just seeing the Everton fans applauding all 22 players taking the knee, I mean, that warmed my cockles anyway. I think Manchester United are going to have too much, but the fact that they have put a slightly weakened side out and made 9 changes, it's making me think that Everton are taking this competition a little bit more seriously, and yeah, I think it evens it up, so I'm really looking forward to this battle tonight.
It is a weakened side that includes 2 World Cup semi-finalists and a World Cup winner. It's not bad.
Not bad strength in depth.
Here's the captain, Harry Maguire, up to the halfway line, onto Fernandes, who pokes it around into Van der Beek. He collides with Seamus Coleman, who's coming back from injury, and the ball just spills out on this near side, midway inside Everton territory, and out for a Toffee's throw. We have the League Cup's 2 most potent goal scorers on show tonight. Since December 2017, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has scored 10 goals in this competition. Marcus Rashford's got 7, but if he's going to add to that, he'll have to do so from the bench this evening. Ball cleared by Robin Olsen out towards the far side. It comes back straight down the middle into Cavani, who lays it off to Fernandes, whose shot is goalwards. There was already a flag over on the far side, so it wouldn't have counted.
Good defending from Everton. As soon as that ball was cleared, they step up and Cavani's about a second later when he starts to step up, and it's an easy win back for Everton. That's drilled. That's the defensive coaches, whether it's Carlo Ancelotti, but that is excellent play to put Manchester United on the back foot and win the ball back. Cheap one.
Well, Manchester United flew out the traps at Leeds against Leeds on Sunday, but they have started most games with tortoise-like urgency. But they're coming forward here now with Fernandes on the edge of the D, tries to feed Cavani. Across comes Keane and clears it away, and that's a couple of times that Manchester United have got in down the right channel, Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, they look a little bit too wide across the pitch there when they're coming out. And that was a great opportunity for Bruno Fernandes. You know, he had a little bit more time than he thought. If he would have just settled himself and got the ball out of his feet, he could have either taken a shot on himself, and he was only about 12 yards out, or played the ball to his left to Cavani, and he just rushed it, and in the end it just went up to nothing.
And again, Matic down the right in towards Van der Beek. A low cross into the near post from that right channel to the edge of the 6-yard box. Cavani prods it goalwards. It's cleared away by the Everton defence, but they keep getting in between Godfrey and Keane down that right-hand side, Manchester United, and we've only played 3 minutes here on TalkSport, whereas Everton 0, Manchester United 0, and the ball is over on the far side with Axel Tuanzebe playing at right back tonight. Eric Bailly returning to the team for the first time since that debacle against Tottenham Hotspur. He's been an unused substitute in the Champions League, but haven't seen him in the Premier League since that day. Here is Matic back in field to Harry Maguire. I thought it was a nice touch from Everton as they came out tonight that they had a mascot with them, not physically but via the technology of an iPad. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was carrying an iPad with a virtual mascot. 80-year-old supporter Billy Colshaw getting the opportunity to come out and have a look at what the vantage point of a Premier League footballer is when you come out of the tunnel here at Goodison Park.
Yeah, nice touch. I'm not sure, is that the oldest mascot ever, 80-year-olds?
I don't know. That's one for the statisticians, the real football geeks. Alex Telles has just trotted across because it's the first corner of a game actually to Manchester United, who once again have just pressed down that right hand side. The ball has spilt off an Everton defender and it's gone out for a corner kick. He's taken 6 paces back down the slope before he whips it in left-footed deep towards the back post. The goalkeeper comes out, Mina goes up and glances it behind, and it's away for another corner, a second successive one, and Mina seems to have got something in the eye as that ball went up into the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the replay now. I'm not convinced with the goalkeeper Robin Olsen there. He went to attempt to punch it, didn't look convincing, ended up on the floor and didn't really get much on the ball anyway. So if I was Manchester United, I know they've got an outswinger on the ball, I'd be putting everything in that 6-yard box and getting a few of the big bodies around him and seeing if he can handle it, because from that indication it looks like he can't.
He went to punch the ball and punched Yerry Mina.
It's knocked him out.
Yerry Mina is now sitting down inside his 6-yard box needing some attention. I think he's given him a whack on the schnoz. And that's now being attended to. Cross into the box. Yeah, he did. He just landed the top of his hand into the nose of Yerry Mina.
Yerry Mina heads the ball. So for me, Olsen doesn't get there anyway.
Olsen missed the ball by about half a foot.
Yeah, and took his own centre half out. That's not good. But again, why not change it? If you see that, you've got to be able to adapt. Put the ball under the crossbar and see if he can deal with it, because from that indication, he couldn't deal with it.
Well, he could have walked off the pitch here, Yerry Mina, but because it is a corner that they're trying to defend, he went walking back into the 6-yard box and went down there to get his treatment, which is why we have a significant delay. The clock says 5 minutes 50 seconds. We haven't had that much time so far, and it remains Everton 0, Manchester United 0. Live on TalkSport.
Streetwise, you've got to do that. He's one of the tallest players in the Everton side, and the defending a corner, stay on the pitch and get your treatment there, and then obviously when you get back up, it's a head injury. I thought he would have been able to stay on.
Well, he's walking off now very, very slowly. By the way, Manchester City hold the record for the oldest mascot. Come on, Trev, you should have known that. Vera Cohen, 102.
Wow.
Led them out against Fulham at the Etihad Stadium in September 2018, along with her sister Olga Hallen, who was a sprightly 97. Here's the corner from the near side. Mina's gone off the pitch now, so he's not there for the corner anyway. It's in towards Cavani. He's missed it. Came through to Nzebe, and somehow Everton managed to clear it under pressure. Robin Olsen just saw one of his defenders come out and clear the ball, but United have won it back again into the area with Greenwood, down the right, flicks up towards Pogba, lots of space for him to turn, tees up Van der Beek, it's blocked by a diving Seamus Coleman, spirals into the air and goes behind for another corner, claims of a handball inside the penalty area. Coleman complaining to Andy Madley, the referee. There's no VAR tonight, but the ball is out for a corner.
Great block by Seamus Coleman. Listen, that's what you want your defenders to do, and certainly you want the Everton captain to do. It's a good back heel by Pogba. He lays it to Van der Beek, who hits the target, but he's blocked by a sliding tackle from Coleman, and excellent defending.
Everton under pressure in the early exchanges. It's Pogba into Cavani, and a flick by Cavani is prodded away by Olsen, and eventually the offside flag goes up over on the far side anyway against the Uruguayan. It wouldn't have counted, but they've had several chances in the opening 7 minutes of this game that have caused the Everton defence all sorts of problems.
Yeah, they're not getting the first contact on that ball, and that wasn't even a difficult ball for Pogba to control. And about the penalty spot, it's come to him at maybe knee height. He's controlled the ball before a player can get anywhere near him, and that's not good enough. 12 yards out, you need to be touch tight and make sure any ball into that area needs to be contested.
Well, Everton come into the match having won their last 3 and having approached all 3 wins in a more pragmatic style. After what was a roller coaster blitzing start of the season, there's been a subtle applying of the handbrake, but they've been pretty open here, and Cavani is trying to test Robin Olsen from the halfway line. The ball runs loose to him and he just turns and tries to thwack it over the head of Robin Olsen. It goes spiralling into the Gladys Street, where we do have a scattering of supporters, and it's out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. But Manchester United clearly have the intent here to come and try and probe Everton in the early stages.
Yeah, they've not lost a game since November the 1st against Arsenal, so they've won many games, and that confidence is oozing from them, and they're going into this game thinking, we beat these not so long ago, let's go and do it again.
Yeah, on that day, like most days away from home, they went behind early on,
Bernard,
and had to fight back again, and they did fight back. Bruno Fernandes fought back. He scored 2 goals and made another one for Edinson Cavani. He's on the ball now inside the centre circle, prodding it down the left and inviting Tellez to chase. Coleman's got the space to close that down, but he's overrun it and taken it straight out, and it's away for a corner kick to Manchester United again. And they've had several of these in the opening exchanges, and despite the fact the scoreline's still 0-0, it's certainly Manchester United that are on top.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure on, and especially with these set pieces, I don't feel Everton are dealing with them very well. They're all stood across the 6-yard box there, the Everton defenders, and there's only 2 players, Gomez and Coleman, in and around the penalty spot.
Here's the corner. Fernandes whips it in towards the near post. Wasn't a great delivery. It's headed away by Everton, back into the centre circle, chipped down the left by Bailly, headed on by Fernandes. Cavani's got it again down the left side of the box, back to Fernandes again. He turns it in turn towards the byline. Tellez with a cross which is headed out by Doucouré, and it's out for yet another Manchester United corner. Yeah,
a good movement from Tellez. The ball on the sideline with Fernandes. He's got a lot of time because he makes that time. I don't think players want to go in and try and challenge that ball because he's so quick at moving the ball, and he plays a nice little ball down the left, and it's whipped in by Tellez.
Manchester United 74% possession, 28 for Everton. As the ball goes into the near post from Tellez, it's headed away by Richarlison. Didn't really get past the first man there, and then Iwobi clears towards the halfway line, and there's no escape route. Bailly didn't look particularly strong, but managed to get the ball chested away from Sigurdsson, helped it down the left touchline. We're midway inside the Everton half here. Iwobi just fighting for the ball with Tellez and winning it. Now Doucouré onto Richarlison, and we could have an opportunity for the first Everton attack of the game. We've played just over 10 minutes on Talk Sport, and it's Everton 0, Manchester United 0. They go scurrying down the right and then decide that they've run out of room, so go back towards home. And home is with Robin Olsen, who's just miscontrolled inside the penalty area, and Cavani went to nick it and couldn't quite do so, and Olsen recovers and manages to clear out towards the near side. Well, so far, if Jordan Pickford was looking for some encouragement about his performances, he only had to watch the 10 minutes highlight reel of Robin Olsen in this first few minutes of this game.
Yeah, that's poor play. I've got to say it's a big mistake by Olsen, and he's fortunate to get away with that. The ball is a little bit sloppy and slow into him, but he has plenty of time to control it. His first touch is not right. He's almost doing the second phase of that passing drill before he's controlled the football, gets caught under his feet. Cavani contests it, gets a little bit of something on it, and it ricochets in Olsen's favour. Very fortunate, because if that goes to Cavani, it ends up in the back of the net 100%.
11 and a half minutes played. Robin Olsen, who was signed from Roma on loan for a year, and it was designed to put pressure and increase the competition for Jordan Pickford, the England #1 goalkeeper, who's sitting on the bench tonight, has been rotated
think is the correct phrase. Here is Maguire, deep inside his own territory. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has won 9 major trophies when he was a player at Manchester United, but he's hit a bit of a glass ceiling when it comes to winning them as a manager. Semi-finals galore. They'll win tonight and it will be a 4th in 2 years, but they haven't gone any further than that, Manchester United, yet. But they want to go through to the last 4 this time around, give themselves the opportunity to try and contest a set-piece event which has been moved, so hopefully more fans can be accommodated later in the year. It will now be on the 25th of April, the Capital One, the Carabao Cup final. Here is Seamus Coleman on the halfway line. Infield he goes for Everton. Poor by Decore. And Everton, I must admit, in comparison to what I saw on Saturday night, have looked a little bit off the pace in the opening 12 minutes of the game.
Yeah, they have. Misplacing passes, not winning the ball when it comes into their 18-yard box. Just look a little bit passive at the moment, and they need to get touched out and start getting a little bit physical with Manchester United before they start getting overconfident.
And Telles to take a throw. Very windy in the north of England. We've had lots of rain and wind, and it's pretty chilly as well out there today.
Stop being soft.
You've turned up dressed like a polar explorer. Here is Godfrey over on the far side. He's robbed of the ball by Axel Tuanzebe. He's played into the centre towards Fernandes. Good control inside the box. He's going to run for Cavani. Out comes Olsen, mishandles it, and then eventually is able to scoop it away from the Uruguayan. But it's another chance that's been gifted to Manchester United. It's another one they haven't taken, and I just wonder, Trevor, how many more Everton are going to give them before Manchester United take one? Yeah,
I think the fact that Carlo Ancelotti's up, he's concerned. I think the intensity's not right from the players. That's a good ball out there by Andre Gomez, just setting the tone, because it's not been good enough. The tempo's not been good enough. The zip on the pass has not been good enough, and Manchester United is just picking the ball off them.
Well, Manchester United have come here with real intent. It's 0-0, but they've had a couple of really good chances in the game. Yerry Mina, who seems to be okay after his whack in the face from Robin Olsen, sends the ball long. It's cut out. Calvert-Lewin goes chasing. Across comes Pogba, slides in and pushes it back towards the heart of his defence. Maguire tries to bring it out. Calvert-Lewin tugs back his England colleague, and a free kick is given just short of the centre circle. 14 minutes played at Goodison Park. This relic of the 40s and 50s is this stand that we're in actually was one of the first to ever have escalators put in it.
Splendid.
It's a 3-tiered stand. The one above us slightly populated tonight, a few handful of fans in it. It is slightly, the view is slightly obscured by thick white posts which are dotted around in front of us. I'm fortunate I can see the goal away to our left. Trevor, from what I understand, you have an obscured view of that goal.
I've got a pillar with the letter D on it right in front of the goal, so whenever it goes towards that goal Manchester United to our left are shooting at, I have to get out my seat and just a bit of bobbing and weaving. It's good for my core.
D for denied. Here is Matic in the centre circle. He sends it low across the floor to Alex Telles. Telles, who hasn't scored for United but was a regular goal scorer for Porto. A flick by Fernandes, an exchange with Greenwood, gets it back towards Greenwood. It's cut out by Ben Godfrey, but his clearance is met by Pogba. Sails out towards the left, across from Telles, deep to the far post. Cavani with a hit, saved by Olsen, comes back to Cavani. Neat little touch, another save by Olsen. It's repelled once again. A double chance from Cavani and a double save from Robin Olsen.
That's
Maybe
brilliant.
He's just made up for the mistakes he made in the opening 15 minutes of the game.
That's brilliant from both. Cavani with his strike, we'll just let this attack go on.
Greenwood down the right, tries to dive into the penalty area, gets on the outside, low cross into Van der Beek, who went to step over it for Cavani, away by Mina, who just intervened, and then as Axel Tuanzebe comes across with Richarlison trying to escape, the youngster comes and prods the ball out of play. The 23-year-old who's lived in Greater Manchester since he was 3 and been at United since he was 8, reacts quick enough to nudge the ball out of play over on the far side and away for a goal kick. It's still 0-0.
Initially in that first attack, a little bit of a naughty challenge, I thought, from Ben Godfrey. Left a little bit on Mason Greenwood. He got the ball, but he followed through with his tackle, and it looked like he tried to leave a little bit on Mason Greenwood. That aside, the chances for Cavani, the first one was just about clearing the back defender, and he read that, didn't panic, waited for the ball and got his timing on the volley superbly well. Also Wilson made a good good save. The ball came back out to him, and it looked like he was going to strike it again. Just tipped it over the defender's foot and then just volleyed it as hard as he could. But I think the angle was against him, and Olsen come out and spread himself, and it was another good save. But great play from Cavani, and you can see that them little intricate touches why he's scored so many goals in his career.
33 years of age, 3 goals for Manchester United so far. His first coming at Goodison Park on October the 3rd. Here is Maguire bringing the ball out of defence. Square ball into Fernandes, who's just dropped deep to pick it up. It's Van der Beek who's operating at the top of the diamond at the moment, but it's a movable feast for Manchester United, and they've now switched, and Van der Beek has come a little bit deeper on the halfway line with his back to goal. He nudges it to Maguire. Still 0-0 here on Talk Sport. This is Mason Greenwood now. Van der Beek again. Manchester United dominating possession.
There's a bit more zip on the ball, isn't there, Sam? When Man United have got the ball, you can hear it. Yeah,
rain and wind.
You can hear it though, and it's just a little bit sloppy and casual from Everton.
Yes, they haven't really found any sort of rhythm. 35% possession in 16 minutes. I mean, that's not what you would expect from a home team who so far this season have been pretty reliable with the ball. Carlo Ancelotti knows that the job here is nowhere near finished, but certainly they've had a very good first 12 months. It's filled Everton fans with optimism that they can win a major trophy for the first time since 1995, but he would have expected a better start here tonight. And once again, he's just seen Yerry Mina come out of defence with the ball, lay it down the right touchline, straight out of play, and he's just thrown his arms up in the air as if to say, what on earth is going on?
Well, on that little pattern there, Yerry Mina's got the ball right centre half. You want Coleman just running away a little bit and just checking to be a definite point of passing point. And he doesn't, he kind of continues to jog, and in the end he passes it between Coleman and Iwobi on that side, and neither of them can get there. Just needs to be a bit sharper and a bit more accurate.
Davide Ancelotti was on with Jim White the other day. It was an interesting listen and insight into Carlo Ancelotti and the relationship with his son, who is his assistant manager.
Yeah.
You might want to listen back to that via our TalkSport app. You can flick back and find that. It's on the Jim White show around about 12 midday, and it's in that hour on Tuesday.
Really interesting. I've listened and read a little bit about that interview and that chat. I thought it was really interesting. From a very young age, he started studying the game and looking at it from a different perspective.
And he says, Carlo, you speak to him about it, he's here because he's very good, not just because he's my son.
That old chestnut.
That's what Fergie used to say about Darren Ferguson as well. Ball cleared upfield towards the far side, and it's now collected over on the right by Tuanzebe, all the way back to his goalkeeper, and then sent into the path of Maguire. And Henderson just had a couple of touches. It's the first time he's touched the ball away to our right.
It's tough, isn't it? The game's been going 18 minutes, and that's the first little touch you've got on the ball, and it was quite tentative, I have to say. He didn't look overconfident, did he?
It was like, can I do it again, please? Is that all right?
Second serve.
20 minutes gone. You're listening to TalkSport. Earlier on today, Stoke City beaten at home over on TalkSport 2 by Spurs by 3-1. Dean Ashton and Jim Proudfoot were there, and I mentioned that we haven't got VAR here. Well, if they had VAR in that game, the Spurs would probably have won that by 4-1, because Son was through on goal, played in by Kane, flagged offside, and actually wasn't. So
it's a strange combination, Son and Kane.
Yeah, they don't really sort of usually set one another up for goals. Here it's Manchester United who have set the running, but Gylfi Sigurdsson has just tiptoed into the box. He's taken out 3 players. One of them was Matic, who was falling all over the place, sliding like Bambi on ice, and he got the shot away. Eventually it was blocked by Maguire, who was back there helping out, and Manchester United looked to break. Picked up by Mina on the halfway line, roared forward by the 2,000 fans inside at the Goodison Park tonight. Taken out of the sky by Coleman. Coleman moves it on to Iwobi. Iwobi looks up, tries to feed Doucouré, back into Iwobi again, scooped over the top, and going in behind was Coleman. Just didn't have the pace to get on the end of that. Seemed to sort of pull out as the ball bounced off the turf, and it's squeezed behind and away for a goal kick to Manchester United. Still 0-0 on TalkSport.
Yeah, good effort. Third man run. Coleman played the ball inside and followed his pass down the line. It was a lay back to Iwobi, and his club choice was probably wrong. he used a 6 iron. He probably needs to use an 8 iron just to take a little bit of the pace off the ball when it's skidded on the floor.
Earlier on, Celtic beat Ross County by 2-0 in the Scottish Premiership. There were wins for Livingston, Hibernian, and Dundee United is just about to complete a victory over Kilmarnock. Motherwell and Aberdeen drew 0-0. Stephen Gerrard and Rangers won 3-0 away at St Johnstone. Here on Talk Sport, it is Everton 0, Manchester United 0 in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Mason Greenwood has exchanged passes with Axel Tuanzebe over on the far side. Tuanzebe back to the right touchline, about 6 yards outside the area where Greenwood sends it centrally. It goes on to Pogba, then infield to Matic, Cavani, Matic again, out towards the left-hand side. And it's collected by Tellez, and then into Matic, and then back to Cavani, who lost his footing but is moving forward again. Fernandes, Pogba, and then the ball was sent wide to Axel Tuanzebe. They switch sides and change the angle of the attack, Manchester United. Fernandes is on the ball now with Pogba down round the back towards Tuanzebe, who's squeezing between two Everton defenders. They're not entirely sure where the ball is. Well, Robin Olsen isn't, and eventually Michael Keane takes charge and clears up towards the halfway line. Calvert-Lewin can't make it stick. Even his control's letting him down, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in on the far side to Manchester United. 0-0.
Again, an excellent tempo from Manchester United. The passing, interchanging of positions, two-touch football, pass and move. The rotation's excellent in that midfield diamond, and Everton are struggling to get anywhere near him at the moment, and they need to try and get in touch and start getting a little bit physical, or getting closer to these Manchester United midfielders, or else they're just going to get bopped all night.
Well, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has performed pretty well in this competition. He has won all 6 of his away games, even as Cardiff manager. But Manchester United revel in being away from home, don't they? And they certainly have looked pretty comfortable on their travels so far tonight. But I wonder whether or not, Trevor, if they've let Everton off the hook a little bit in the fact that they haven't taken the lead when they've been so dominant in the opening exchanges, and whether that might come back to haunt them a little bit later on in the game if they don't get themselves in front here.
Well, Sam, when you've got the majority of possession like this and you've created 4 or 5 decent opportunities, you'd like to think you're going to go ahead, or else you start to think it's one of them nights. And then when the players start to think that, then it can go that way.
Greenwood just turns the ball out into the left wing position. A low cross by Tellez. Oh, that's a lovely, delightful header by Greenwood, which hits the outside of the post and goes behind and away for a goal kick. It's another let-off for Everton. That was a delicious ball in by Tellez. It was an even better glancing, diving header, which sent the ball spiralling towards the far corner of Robin Olsen's net. It just veered away and kissed the post before it got there.
Great cross, and it's almost in behind that first line of defenders that are going in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's in behind that, more towards the penalty spot, and he just crouches down, gets a nice glance on it, Greenwood, and really unlucky. I've got a great angle here behind this pillar, and it was always just going away from goal. It never looked like it was going in, but excellent cross, I have to say, from Tellez, and good movement. He's on the move, Greenwood. That's what goal scorers do. They're on the move. They don't stand still in the box where it's easy to get marked, and yeah, for a young player, he does that superbly well. Talk
Sport, 25 gone, 0-0 at Goodison Park. Last night, Brentford knocked out Newcastle, and Manchester City knocked out Arsenal. And tonight we will see who completes the last 4 of this competition. Well, Everton have decided to rejig this set piece. They won a free kick on the halfway line. They were going to play it short. Now they've sent everybody forward to the edge of the 18-yard box, and Gomez is going to take it. He hits it right-footed. It's deep and long, and Henderson has missed it, and it goes over his head and out of play and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised of that delivery from Gomez, because he has got a fantastic distribution and passing range. He just looks like he's trying to absolutely launch that anywhere near goal bound, and just puts too much on it, and it's a let off for Manchester United, because they had everyone back in the box there ready to defend that.
Here is Nemanja Matic, swirling ball, which I think got caught in the wind and came back to Axel Tuanzebe, but it almost got picked off by Richarlison. He's taken the ball out of defence. He's run a very long way into the Everton half. On the right, centrally is Greenwood. Gets it back from Van der Beek. Plays it out towards the left, and Bruno Fernandes, whose delivery towards the far post almost comes through to Cavani. It was flicked on by Van der Beek, and it goes behind off Mina and away for a corner kick to Manchester United. Corner number 7 of the game.
You can see every time Bruno Fernandes gets the ball and he's not in and around the 18-yard box, there's movement. because his vision's so good, you can see that his teammates trust him, that if they make a forward movement, he's going to pick them out, or something's going to happen, he's going to create something. Great to see.
7 shots Manchester United have had, 2 on target. Everton have had 1 shot, none on target so far in the game. It's been very much Manchester United's evening so far, but they haven't made it count. It's still goalless, and they have a corner over on the far side in front of the Gladys Street. It's not a great delivery, but it goes all the way through to Pogba. It pops up in front of him, and he prods his head at the ball, but it's straight at Robin Olsen, and it's another chance for Manchester United, which they don't convert. And it's another time that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, with his hands rammed into his pockets of his tracksuit top tonight, just looks forlornly as if to say, how on earth has that not gone in?
Yeah, he's very close. I think he's probably on the edge of the 6-yard box, but I think what went against him is the ball bounced up, and because of the zip on the grass, it's a wet night, it just came at him a bit too fast, and it just literally hit him on the head. He didn't have time to generate his neck muscles and get a bit of direction on it, and luckily for Olsen, it just landed straight in his hands.
Well, Manchester United really testing Everton, but without breaching that back line that kept clean sheets against Leicester and kept a clean sheet against Chelsea, and actually the only goal they conceded against Arsenal at the weekend was from a Tom Davies conceded penalty. Otherwise they would have had another clean sheet. They've tightened up defensively after conceding a number of goals, where they had a little bit of wobble after Luca Digne and Coleman stepped out of the team. But Godfrey has done very well at left back over the past couple of weeks. He showed a great turn of pace in the weekend game against Arsenal as well.
I just feel he gets a little bit laterally, he stays a bit wide, and it's either Michael Keane doesn't come across with him to stop that gap, or else that gap ends up being a bit too big, and Manchester United already this evening have found a little bit of joy in that area where they've got to be careful.
He's not a full-back though, is he, Ben Godfrey? He's very much a centre-half who's playing a role, because they don't really have too many options there. Manchester United almost gift the ball to Alex Iwobi on the edge of their own penalty area. Tio Nzebe and Bailly eventually getting themselves out of a bit of bother. It's flicked on by Fernandes and runs all the way through to the halfway line, and the Everton fans want their team to start playing now. Here is Mina taking it through the centre circle. He plays it square onto Keane, and Keane now finds Sigurdsson, who's dropped deep back inside the centre circle. Still Everton in possession, but not really probing or going anywhere. They go down the right to Coleman on to Richarlison, but it's not a great delivery, and Tellez will whack it into the press box up high in this main stand.
Yeah, fair play to Tellez and Bailey. They're both doing a good job on the wingers, which is the reason why both wingers have changed for Everton. Iwobi's gone over to the left, and Richarlison's come over to this unfamiliar right hand side.
Tuanzebe bounds forward over the halfway line. Infield he goes to Fernandes, then Pogba, and then back out to Alex Tellez on this near side into Matic, Nemanja Matic, who hasn't scored a goal actually since the last Carabao Cup semi-final. He's given the ball away here though, and it's been picked off by Dominic Calvert-Lewin in front of Paul Pogba, and he's run towards the edge of the Manchester United 18-yard box. Didn't have much support, so had to wait for new arrivals, and then the ball back to Doucouré is a really poor one, and Manchester United threatened to counter-attack before Andre Gomez commits a foul on Edinson Cavani on the cusp of the centre circle.
Yeah, initially it's a poor ball from Manchester United, giving the ball away to Calvert-Lewin, who drives at the two central defenders, and if he could have just got his head up and looked to the right hand side, Richarlison made a superb run from right to left going towards the goal, and he just didn't see him, and then that option became unavailable, and he ended up playing it out to the left to Iwobi. But good opportunity that wasted, I feel, if he could have just got his vision going.
Now Dominic Calvert-Lewin has had such a great 2020, hasn't he? 24 goals in his last 46 Premier League games. He'd scored 11 in his first 82. Reward for patience.
Yeah.
Everton have the ball deep inside their own territory. 0-0 the score in the Carabao Cup quarter-final between Everton and Manchester United on TalkSport. 31 minutes into the game. Now it's with Coleman out wide to Richarlison. Richarlison being tracked by Tellez. Van der Beek does well to close him down, goes out of play, and it's away for a throw on this near side. Cenk Tosun Anthony Gordon and Bernard all warming up down in front of us away to our left, and quite vociferously.
Yeah, I think the shape, the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, depending on what pattern they're actually playing, is going against Everton at the moment, and they just can't get hold of the ball in the centre of the park. And I think Carlo Ancelotti's seen enough of that and feels if this continues, they're going to lose the game, or definitely going to concede more chances. So I think there's going to be a change of personnel to change the shape.
Well, with Sigurdsson trying to get forward to help out Calvert-Lewin, they're sort of vacating the midfield area, aren't they? They're outnumbered in there.
Absolutely.
They keep losing the ball, and that's what's happened again as Gomez comes forward, tries to stride into Iwobi. Iwobi loses the ball to
Too many options.
Pogba, and United have it again.
Yeah, they've got so many options in the centre of the park there, and I think Carlo Ancelotti's obviously noticed that, and he feels he needs to stop that. And maybe he can't do that with the personnel on the pitch, and that's why we're seeing so many players for Everton warming up on the bench.
Ball is out far side, and it's with Matic, who's slipped back into almost like a right-sided defender. The ball is won by Fernandes. It spoons up to his compatriot, his Portuguese international colleague Andre Gomes, who now has it deep inside Everton territory. It's swirled out towards this near side, and Everton are starting to push the ball around. There wasn't much going on there, but the Everton fans, I think, just delighted that they're pushing the ball around, started to get a little bit excited. They haven't got over the halfway line yet.
No, I think it's the fact that they got about 4 or 5 passes together, which they've not done too regularly this evening.
Godfrey bounds down the Manchester United right, the Everton left. He gets the ball back off Iwobi, comes centrally to Andre Gomes. They go back towards the halfway line. Keane, eyes darting, needs an outlet. There's not too many things in front of him to try and pick out, but Coleman will take over now. Back into Keane, midway inside the centre circle. He plays it left on to Godfrey. Iwobi trying to take on Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe sticks to his task, but Iwobi's still got the ball, stops, waits on the angle of the penalty area, goes out towards the touchline, then flicks it into the box. It's over the head of Sigurdsson, chested down by Bailly and hacked away for Manchester United, but Coleman will run across towards this near side and retrieve it for Everton. 0-0 the score on TalkSport. Doucouré finds Richarlison, runs at the defender Telles, comes in on towards the centre of the Manchester United half. Sigurdsson takes over now. United with men behind the ball, trying to plug any sort of gap. Everton trying to find a way through. At the moment they're going wide to Richarlison, then on to Sigurdsson. Richarlison waiting for it. Sigurdsson's cross is blocked by Matic. It's out for the first Everton corner of the game.
Yeah, excellent play from Everton there. There was a lot more zip on the ball. It went out to the left, it come back central, rotated the ball, recycled it, come down to the right. Little bit of interchanging play with Richarlison and Sigurdsson. Lovely feet from Sigurdsson to try and get that ball out of his feet and get half a yard. The cross was blocked, but corner to Everton. Good play.
This is part of our 25 games over Christmas. We've got 4 Boxing Day exclusive matches for you, all 10 from next Monday, available via the TalkSport app. Here's Sigurdsson swirling the ball towards the penalty spot. Calvert-Lewin with a header, but it's tame and easily gobbled up by the yellow-clad Dean Henderson away to our right-hand side in front of the park end.
Yeah, he was just leaping above somebody, one of the Manchester United defenders, and couldn't really get that power on the ball. It hit the target. The only thing I'd say is there somebody supposed to be in front of the goalkeeper when that ball goes out towards the edge of the 6-yard box, just in case it goes towards the keeper to get a little touch and flick it round the corner.
Here is Mina bringing it forward for Everton, out towards the left, collected by Godfrey, charges forward, helps it on towards Richarlison once again. He's about 10 yards from the byline, comes back into Godfrey into the area. Sigurdsson couldn't get it under control first time, finds Godfrey, who goes down under pressure, wants a penalty. Referee says no, it's stuck under the feet of a defender, and Matic eventually unpicks that knot and ties it back towards Dean Henderson, who clears out towards the far side.
Yeah, the ball was just behind Godfrey, so he played the ball inside, was going for the reverse pass. It was played blind and it was slightly behind him, and he just couldn't put the brakes on to get anything on the ball and ended up falling over. Definitely not a penalty for me. Good refereeing.
Okay, Andy Madley hasn't got the benefit of technology to help him out tonight, and here is Keane striding forward for Everton, who have got themselves into this game now, and he's charging forward up towards the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, the former Manchester United trainee Michael Keane, and there was a foul on Doucouré just as he tried to release the ball, and a free kick has been given, a good sort of 7 yards back from the edge of the D here, and this is in dangerous Gylfi Sigurdsson territory.
Yeah, just on the cusp. I think any 2 or 3 yards further out and he wouldn't consider it, but I think it's just in that range where he feels comfortable getting the ball up and down over the wall, and yeah, this could be a bit of work for Dean Henderson.
I just saw a replay of that Godfrey incident. It was pretty inconclusive. Well, I mean, I can't see it from here because the monitor is about 40 yards away. But there was a replay.
And there's a bubble,
I don't know what happened on it.
in the way.
Gylfi Sigurdsson has placed the ball down. There's going to be a free kick just inside the Everton penalty area. Is the Manchester United wall trying to protect Dean Henderson's goal. Manchester United several chances in this game so far, but they haven't taken them. Everton haven't had too many. Gylfi Sigurdsson strikes towards the near corner. Oh, they've had one now, and it's plucked out of the top corner by Dean Henderson, diving to his right to stop that ball nestling in the postage stamp. It was a brilliant, exquisitely struck free kick up over the wall and into the far corner, and that's a good save.
Yeah, very good save. I think the fact that it was about 28-30 yards out just give Dean Henderson enough time to move his feet and get towards that top corner area where the ball was nestling, and it's a two-handed save over the top. Good free kick, great save.
Sigurdsson to take a corner over on the far side, only the second of the game for Everton, whipped in towards Yerry Mina, just a little bit overhit, so it's too high for him, and it's guided out by Tellez towards the near side, level with the edge of the penalty area. But Everton have grown into this game after a shaky start, and it's now them who are putting Manchester United under pressure, Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, last 5 or 10 minutes you can tell from the Gladys Street fans, you know, they've got something to cheer about. They've been very vocal, and I think that's inspiring the players as well. They can sense that they need to do a little bit more, and they've started to produce.
Well, that Manchester United defence will be tested tonight as they concede a corner from that throw-in. Their steely backline from last season has disappeared. They've kept just 2 clean sheets in their last 12 matches, Manchester United. And they need to stay strong here before half-time, because after causing problems for Robin Olsen and his backline at the other end in the first 15-20 minutes of this game, now it's their goal that's being peppered. It's a corner to be taken on this near side by Sigurdsson. It's his third opportunity to whip the ball in from this sort of zone. Yerry Mina scored from a corner at the weekend. He's lurking at the back post, being watched by Bailly. He's just eluded his marker. It's coming towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin, chested down by Godfrey. His control's poor. Yeah. And it's cleared away.
Yeah, I think he surprised Godfrey. He was at the far post. He was the furthest away from the corner taker, and I think it's hit him on the knee and just ran away from him. But if he would have anticipated that, a little bit similar to Cavani's chance where he expected the defender to miss the ball, he may have been able to get a first time shot or take a touch and get a quick snapshot away. He didn't do that, and Everton are back in possession.
More live sport coming your way across the network this weekend, Saturday, which is Boxing Day. We've got a bonanza of live sport. Manchester United go to Leicester City in the Premier League at 12:30. Reshmin and I and Trevor will be on air from 11 o'clock. Game Day Live with Adrian at 2:30. Reading Luton in the Championship at 3 o'clock. Here is Doucouré, edge of the area, tries to square it towards Richarlison. Richarlison tries to take on Pogba, who holds firm and then manages to repel the ball. Gomez's ball back into the Manchester United half was not a very good one, and then Manchester United's attack is easily broken down by Everton. It goes out of play on the far side, and Godfrey just strong arms Bruno Fernandes off the ball, and it runs clear out on the far side and away for a throw into Everton. Chelsea Arsenal on Boxing Day as well at 5:30. Manchester City against Newcastle on Boxing Day at 8 o'clock, and at the same time on TalkSport 2 it's Sheffield United versus Everton. What a Boxing Day it's going to be on TalkSport.
Don't have to miss any games.
Cracking. We'll be stuffed with turkey on Boxing Day. I will be. I ordered one for 8 people. There's only 3 of us now. I'll finish it off, don't you worry. Here is Doucouré. Infield towards Iwobi. Iwobi across to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Iwobi midway inside opposition territory. Sigurdsson tries a little flick, doesn't come off, then gets a shot away. Not the greatest, easily saved. He needed a bit more awareness there, because Richarlison was over on the far side. If he had invited him to join him in the penalty area, it could have been different.
Yeah, I think Richarlison was starting that left to right out to in run, and he could have easily passed it to him on the angle, got a shot out of his a touch out of his feet, and he would have been kind of just him against the goalkeeper. He rushed his shot, didn't really catch it cleanly, and it was easy for Dean Henderson to save.
Greenwood rushing over towards the far corner, and he goes out, and the ball goes out of play before he can get there.
Godfrey looks very quick, I have to say.
Well, on Saturday night I was here. He went galloping down the left touchline, and he absolutely burned up a counter-attack. I didn't know he had the speed. I think he was he taking on? I can't remember. I think it wasn't Bukayo Saka, because those two were in a foot race a little bit later and they were okay. But he absolutely outpowered whoever it was he was up against. Got towards the edge of the box and then couldn't get his crossing. But it was a brilliant run by him. He showed a real quick turn of pace, and that's going to be, I mean, it's a great asset for him to have in his career. He's learning his trade at the moment. He's only 22 years of age. He made his debut in the Merseyside derby in difficult circumstances at right back. He's played left back, centre half. He's played all over that back line since moving from Norwich City last season.
A little bit like Mason Holgate. You know, he can play one of many positions, and I think that's always good for a manager to have that kind of player in your squad.
Well, it's certainly a big part of Carlo Ancelotti's squad, a squad that has done very well so far this season. And Everton are the competition's top scorers so far, but there's no goals in the opening exchanges here. Here is Bailly out towards Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe to Bailly once again. Bailly will play the ball to Harry Maguire, wearing orange boots tonight. Charges towards the halfway line. Van de Beek dropped deep to try and pick it up for him. A little flick round the corner into Pogba, who strides forward, gallops up towards the edge of the 18-yard box, nudged out to Alex Telles in the left wing position. He's got two waiting in the centre. Van de Beek trying to get away from Iwobi. Picked up now by Matic. Matic moving the ball out towards Alex Telles. Telles just holding on to it right by the touchline, and then goes back to Matic. He's stuck out on the chalk though, Telles, and then flicked the ball around the corner hoping to find Bruno Fernandes. It's run out of play and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left hand side. 43 on the clock. Talk Sport on this Wednesday evening, Christmas Eve, and it's Everton 0, Manchester United 0.
Yeah, Alex Telles looked a little bit frustrated there. He had the ball on the sideline and he was looking in towards the box if he could angle that pass into one of the strikers into feet. It wasn't happening. I like to see a midfield player there come to him, give him a little bounce pass, and the picture usually changes. I think if he started to do that a little bit more, that picture would change and it would be a trigger for one of the forwards to come into that area.
Just seen a picture of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming up to his second anniversary. Just gone past his second anniversary, I think, actually, as the manager of Manchester United.
Ages you've done it.
I was going to say he's allowed his hair to go a little bit more silver, but yes, it does. Never fancied it, Trev? That's why you look so youthful.
Yeah, not the stress of having to deal with 30 players who are driving you insane. No, listen, it's something that I do from day to day at my academy, but I would like the opportunity to work with elite players. It's not happened at the moment, and never say never, but at the moment I'm enjoying what I'm doing with the young kids.
Pogba onto Greenwood, down the left channel, getting into the box. Keane snuffed out the danger. He read it, saw it coming, and came out towards this near side and cleared. Fernandes has picked it up into Cavani. Oh, that's a brilliant clearance by Mina, diving backwards to stop it from reaching the Uruguayan. If it got there, it was a certain goal. It was a brilliant cross from Fernandes, an excellent run by Cavani, and it was a brilliant intervention from a diving Yerry Mina.
Yeah, it was almost an overhead kick to get it out of the way of Cavani, because Cavani looked like he was ready to pounce. It was a fantastic bit of sharp play again. The ball went out for a throw-in, probably in and around the halfway line, but the ball did go out about 20 yards up, and Fernandes didn't wait for the ball to come back. He picked the ball up off the side straight away, little bounce pass, got it back and whipped a delicious crossing which looked like it was heading to Cavani until Yerry Mina got that overhead kick, spectacular clearance out. Again though, the ball goes dead. Can you come alive and catch your position out?
That's really interesting though, isn't it? Because this system that they've got around the perimeter of the pitch with all the balls is not supposed to be used like a multi-ball system.
It's a multi-ball system.
It is, but it's not supposed to be used like that.
Well, he's taken advantage then. He's bending the rules. I mean, if that would have led to a goal, I would have just said that's spectacular.
Yeah, 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half, and Fernandes is taking the free kick straight down the throat of Olsen, who manages to grab it, sort of squirmed out of his gloves a little bit, but he's got back up and managed to get it away before any real pressure can be applied to him by a Manchester United jersey.
Some confidence, Annie Fernandes. He must be 35 yards out there, and no one said anything to him for taking that shot on.
He's probably earned it over the course of the last 10 months, really, since he arrived in February. Manchester United have been the second best team in the land statistically, only 3 points off what Liverpool have posted in the Premier League, and they've played a game less, and I would go as far as to say that he's pretty much a massive part of that. Well, when these two met just over a month ago, we had 3 goals before half-time. It's been pretty open at times this evening, but certainly the scoreline doesn't reflect that. Manchester United had good early chances. Everton came into it towards the end. Manchester United will feel they should be in front. They aren't. It's Everton 0, Manchester United 0.
Thank you very much, Hugh. Welcome back. And Andy Madley just checking his watch before we start proceedings in the second half. He gets us off and underway with Everton attacking the Gladys Street, as they love to do in the second half, under the floodlights here at Goodison Park, in the blue shirts, white shorts and white socks. Manchester United in red shirts and black shorts and black socks tonight, attacking the goal away to our right. No changes at half-time. I did notice that Dean Henderson came out a good 2 or 3 minutes before everybody else, though, in the Manchester United team, and warm up away to our left-hand side. And I wonder whether or not he was doing that because he hadn't seen much action in that first 45 minutes. Certainly it was a first half that belonged to Manchester United. 9 shots on goal, 3 on target. There was a brief flurry at the end from Everton, but apart from that, Manchester United, I think, will probably look back on that first half, Trevor Sinclair, and think to themselves, how on earth are we not in front in the game?
Yeah, dominated play and shots, as you just mentioned. I think the goalkeeper plays his part. You know, Olsen made 2 really good saves from Cavani. The header by Mason Greenwood was very close, but apart from that, it was more huffing and puffing. There weren't clear-cut chances for Manchester United. So yeah, Everton will be reasonably pleased that they've come in all square, but they need to do a lot more if they want to win this game, I feel.
Robin Olsen is the goalkeeper. The back 4 for Everton is Seamus Coleman, Keane, Mina and Godfrey. It's Doucouré, Gomez and Sigurdsson in midfield, with Iwobi and Richarlison down the flanks, supporting Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't really had a kick in that first 45 minutes. Manchester United made 9 changes from the weekend. Henderson is their goalkeeper, Tuanzebe, Bailly, Maguire and Telles the back 4, Matic, Van der Beek, Pogba and Fernandes in a diamond, and then Greenwood and Cavani up top. Although Greenwood has sort of operated almost as a sort of right-sided attacker, hasn't he? Here's Pogba inside the centre circle. He didn't do much in that first 45 minutes, Paul Pogba. Back in field it comes to Matic. Matic travelling forward with the ball, plays it wide to Alex Telles. Telles trundles down that left-hand side. He's stopped by Iwobi, who robs him of possession and then darts forward. Needs an outlet. Stopped by Matic. It goes out of play over on the far side. The last time that these two met in the League Cup was November 1993. Where were you in November 1993? Queen's Park Rangers?
Just arrived at Queen's Park Rangers, yeah.
Okay, United won 2-0 here. 1993 actually is reported to have had the worst Christmas TV ever. I read today. He certainly had the worst ever Christmas number 1. It was Mr. Blobby.
I don't know, I was never in.
Here's Richarlison down the left-hand side, onto his right foot, tries to cut in past Tuanzebe. It's dispossessed and cleared away. And it's picked up by Greenwood over on the near side. Infield to Matic. Matic up to Fernandes. Fernandes through the legs of Gomez. A touch by Cavani onto Fernandes. Oh, it's just a little bit too heavy from Greenwood in towards Fernandes. Cut out by Coleman. And here come Everton for the first time in the second half. Down the right they go with Iwobi. Iwobi runs towards the edge of the area. Telles blocks him off, steps in front of his path, and then plays it to Matic on the edge of the area. And Manchester United come forward once again. 3 minutes played, second half. It's still 0-0. Here's Pogba strolling with the ball at his feet, looking to try and curl it out to the right-hand side. Chested and controlled by Greenwood, who looks to come in field past Godfrey. Godfrey doesn't get the ball off him. Axel Tuanzebe joins the attack. Manchester United trying to get into a dangerous zone, but just fiddling around with it midway inside Everton territory, right side. Greenwood, Fernandes, foul by Doucouré, play on, says the referee. Matic sweeps the ball out towards the near side. Poor header by Godfrey. It's in towards Cavani from Tuanzebe, who takes it round the defender, shoots towards the near corner. It's another save by Robin Olsen to push it into the side netting at a tight angle.
Yeah, great chest. I'm not sure, there was a little bit of arm in there from Cavani, but he got away with it. He chested it to the right, went in towards the near post. Again, the angle was against him, and he's just put his laces through the ball, and again the angles were right from Olsen, and it's a decent save, but really sharp play from Cavani there.
Talk Sport, 0-0 in the Carabao Cup quarter-final between Everton and Manchester United. Everton looking to reach their 6th semi-final of this competition. They've never won it. It's in towards Pogba from the corner, chested it down, and Mina managed to get his head in where it hurts and get the ball clear and out towards the near side, and Iwobi sparks a counter-attack. He's running at rapid pace down the left flank. He's joined by Fernandes, who's got back to try and help out, but his cross is deep into the area and overhit, and it goes out over on the far side, and it is away for a Manchester United throw.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part, I have to say, about Alex Iwobi. Especially on his left-hand side, he's not as strong, and he's just kind of, it's almost like an agricultural help into the box, and he's got too much meat behind it, and it's just gone straight out for a throw-in. Frustrating, because Everton had a lot of bodies in the box there.
It's a real shame, because they haven't had too many forays into Manchester United's half, and when you get that opportunity, you've got to make the most of it. They are lacking a little bit of, I was going to say, first-team quality. James Rodriguez obviously lit up the early weeks of the Premier League, but has been suffering with a calf injury. He's missed 4 games now, and will be back relatively soon, they hope. He started to train, so Carlo Ancelotti will hope to call upon him in the not too distant future. And they've got Sheffield United on Boxing Day, Manchester City live on TalkSport, then West Ham, Rotherham in the FA Cup, Wolverhampton Wanderers away, and Aston Villa away before they welcome Leicester City here.
I was quite surprised they let Theo Walcott go to Southampton, because I thought, when I've watched Theo Walcott, when he's been fit, which is probably not enough, but when he has been fit, he's still got a lot to offer in the game, and he still can affect games in the final third, as he's shown for Southampton.
Well, Manchester United just won a goal kick away to our left, despite the persistence of Alex Iwobi. Theo Walcott, who was on the Darren Bent boot room the other week on TalkSport, talking about his connection with Arsenal and Everton, and actually we've just recorded a Theo Walcott up front with recently as well, which is currently in the editing room being picked apart.
Looks a lovely lad.
He's very pleasant.
Yeah,
very pleasant.
Yeah.
There's a problem here for Yerry Mina. No one on this occasion could have punched him in the face. Surely it was not. Oh, hold on, someone did. Edinson Cavani. Now, if VAR had been in use here, I think he might have been in trouble here, Edinson Cavani.
He's almost. It looks like he's almost grabbed his lower teeth and chin.
Yeah, it's his chin really more than anything else, wasn't it? Maybe, yeah, the bottom set of his teeth, and just sort of forced him to the floor. The 2 South Americans have moved away, having been spoken to by Andy Madley. No intervention from anybody else on the touchline.
I wouldn't like to get in between them two, I've got to say.
No. Far too big for us, Trev. Here's Fernandes out towards the near side. It's Tuanzebe takes it on for Manchester United. 0-0 the score here. It's whipped in by Fernandes, cleared away by Keane. Remember, if it is 0-0 at the end of the game, we will go straight to penalties to decide who goes into the last 4. Bailly goes over the top of Richarlison, jumping for the ball. Richarlison goes down. That's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, it's a really dangerous challenge. I think when you look at it, Richarlison's trying to kind of let the ball come down into his midriff.
Ancelotti's furious about this, Trevor.
He's gone right over the top. He's gone to win the ball in the air, but he's gone right over the top of Richarlison there. It just looks reckless. I don't think there's any need for him to do that. Oh yeah, he's caught him in the head. He looks like he's been knocked out to me. It looks like he's been knocked out by Bailly's knee. A little bit of a nudge from Fernandes just before the incident, but Bailly, it's a rash challenge for me.
Well, we still haven't got any indication about whether or not Richarlison is sitting up, because we can't see, because the physio is lying above his head.
I'll be honest with you, Sam, it looks like he was concussed before he hit the ground.
He's moving his right arm, so he's moving, so that's good news, and now his left arm has come up to hold the back of his head. But it's not a great situation. They rely on him so much. You know, Everton haven't won any of the 8 Premier League games that he's missed out since he's joined the club. So the idea of losing him for any time is not going to be palatable for Carlo Ancelotti. It was just a really stupid challenge from Bailly.
But are we surprised? This is what we've seen from time after time after time with this player. He's reckless. It's a reckless challenge.
Probably why he hasn't been in the team.
Well, I would imagine so.
You're listening to TalkSport. Up after us at 10 o'clock tonight. It's your chance to have your Cell National Radio. The sports bar is open for business with Jason Cundy and Perry Groves. No substantial meal required. 08717 223344 is the number to get your calls in. Have your Cell National Radio tonight from 10 o'clock. Sports breakfast tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Alan Brazil back with Ali McCoist and Jamie O'Hara. A great combination for you to wake up to tomorrow morning on TalkSport, Christmas Eve.
I think the physio's just showing the sign for rotation. He's bringing him off. I feel he was concussed there. There was a time when he hit the ground, it looked like he was, he is
concussed. He can't balance. He can't walk properly. He's got to come off, surely.
He doesn't know where he is.
No, he doesn't. He's struggling to walk in a straight line here. He's being helped off by two of the medical staff. He looks absolutely so groggy. He's trying to touch the ground to get some bearings right. Of course, from January, we're hoping to be able to introduce concussion substitutes as part of a trial. The FA are hoping that comes into the Premier League later on.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He's thinking he's going back on the pitch.
He is not going on. He cannot go back on the pitch.
No, he won't be allowed. The gaffer's just told him there, you're going off. Yeah, that's it's not a nice.
I'm pleased to see that the doctor, the physio, is standing in front of him and they're shaking their head. They're saying, no chance you're going back on. Ball is sent into the penalty area. It's headed down by Keane and goes straight behind. They're down to 10 men at the moment. He's not happy with the medical advice for Richarlison, but honestly, the guy can hardly stand up.
No, he's struggling. I'm just looking at his facials now, and as he's coming off, he keeps on touching his face. He doesn't know what day it is. It's a reckless challenge, and I think if VAR was involved there, the referee may have taken more action, because that was just a joke. He almost kneed him in the side of the face.
The way he jumped into that challenge, his knee was raised,
no control,
and he was completely out of control. Now, because he was going for a header, everybody just seems to think that that's okay. But if you endanger the safety of an opponent, you should be sanctioned.
Yeah.
Carlo Ancelotti was furious about that.
Yeah, because he feels there's a little bit of
intent.
Absolutely, and because he was so close to the action and where the incident took place, he feels it's just a ridiculous challenge. And like I say, VAR's not here, and he will get away with that.
Well, whether or not there was any intent or not is actually irrelevant in law. It was a dangerous challenge. If it was clumsy, that's poor. If it was intentional, it's even worse.
Ridiculous. I think if Andy Madley's obviously not seen
the extent of
the detail of that incident, and that could get reviewed.
Pogba sending the ball forward. He didn't give him a yellow card, so maybe that is a possibility. Godfrey takes it up towards the halfway line, charging away from Pogba. A wild challenge from Pogba, who's going to get sanctioned for that. Diving in, going to get a yellow card.
Yeah.
He was diving in on Godfrey. No need to do it. I mean, he's just over the halfway line, Godfrey.
Yeah, but the thing is, he feels that Ben Godfrey will show him a pair of heels, so he doesn't want to be embarrassed, so he's gone to ground to try and nick the ball. He's not got there, and he's had to take a yellow card for it.
There's two defenders in between Godfrey and the penalty area. Silly challenge.
There's not the most amount of contact, but he does put Ben Godfrey off his stride, and he loses the ball, and as he loses the ball, he goes to ground.
Manchester United need to keep their discipline here, because they started this game really well. I don't want to invite Everton into it. Here is Sigurdsson up towards the edge of the penalty area. Wrestling going on between Maguire and Mina. Maguire has his arms wrapped around Mina. The ball goes out of play and away for a goal kick. Just get the feeling that Manchester United are just losing their concentration a little bit.
Yeah, he's trying to just get a little bit physical with Everton and put them off the stride.
Another change. That's two in a row for Everton. They're going to take off Andre Gomez and bring on Tom Davies, who is the surf dude without any attitude. Hair tied back in a ponytail now.
Been a bit disappointed with Gomez, because I do rate him as a player, but I feel he's been very passive in this game. He's not gotten the ball enough. He's not really shown his the range of passing that he attains, and disappointing in that, because it's a game where I would like to have seen him take a little bit of command in the centre of the park.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was even concerned about Richarlison. He went over to check to make sure that he was okay. That tells you everything.
Maybe he throws himself around a little bit like that in training, and has had to be just simmered down a little bit.
Here is Greenwood on the edge of the 18-yard box. Was he fouled there?
No. Yeah, I feel he was.
Referee said no. Greenwood's getting back up and asking the question of the assistant on this near side. But he's just dived in again on Bernard.
Got away with it. It's not even a foul.
Fernandes down the right side, in from the touchline, gets beyond Davis, produces a cross into the box, headed into the air. It goes high, and Davis underneath it glances it out for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Eric Bayer's got to be very, very careful. If you're only going to Solskjaer now, you start thinking...
I don't think he's got that in the locker, Sam. I honestly don't think he's got that calming way about him.
Who?
He's 100% Eric Bailly. I just feel he's rash. And he doesn't know how to calm himself.
Should Ole Gunnar Solskjaer take action himself and just say, let's switch this out? Let's get somebody else on the field of play. Bring on Tim Fosu-Mensah, switch Tuanzebe into centre half and just give Bailly a rest.
But he's got away with it, so he's not even been booked. So I would imagine Ole won't do that.
Bailly sends it into Pogba. Pogba back to the left side, and Matic, who brings the ball out of defence up to Fernandes. All the way back to Maguire across to Bailly once again, just in front of the halfway line, nearly hitting the hour mark. It's Everton 0, Manchester United 0. You do wonder whether or not the hectic schedule will take its toll on Manchester United over the course of the next couple of weeks. They've had 3 more matches since they played Everton 47 days ago, since compared to the Toffees. Here's Tuanzebe on to Cavani, deep cross towards the far post. Goalkeeper's come out, backpedaling, and just about manages to grab it.
Yeah, you could tell he communicated then as well with Mina. He told him that he was taking this. Mina kind of ushered himself out the way, and it's a really good take from Olsen, demanding the ball and then looking after his 18-yard box.
Well, recent history suggests that Manchester City will go on and win the Carabao Cup, but that run has got to come to an end at some point.
Why?
Brentford through.
What percentage would you say that's got to end?
I don't know. Ask Mikel Arteta. Liverpool and Chelsea are out. Chance for Everton.
What is
Manchester
all that
United,
about?
Tottenham. What the statistics that he was trotting out this week?
I just don't get that.
Well, I was here on Saturday night talking to Mikel Arteta after the Everton defeat of Arsenal, and he was telling me that he thought that his team were the better team in the game, and at that point I thought, you're looking at it through a different prism to most other people, I'm afraid, and I think that's what happens when you start to lose. When things start to get on top of you a little bit. And again, I know they had their problems last night, a goalkeeping mistake and a flag for offside that didn't go up. I know that, but still, they were well beaten. Ball given away by Fernandes, almost to Doucouré. Maguire steps in. It's out towards the right side. Cavani takes it on towards the edge of the area. Pogba's got it now. Van der Beek wants it. There's lots of space for Fernandes instead, who cracks it goalwards. But uncharacteristically for him, it's off target. It's over the top of the crossbar and it's out and away for a goal kick. Still goalless.
Yeah, great awareness from Pogba. I feel it's one of them where he came into him at a good pace and he just thought it was perfect, so he wanted to put a little bit too much pace on it and just lifted his head a little bit and got under it, and it went harmlessly over. But you fancy him in situations like that from about 25 yards out, and he's disappointed with himself. You can see his body language now. Get over it.
Well, the one big plus for anyone who does play Manchester City in the semi-final, of course, this year is that it is a one-legged semi-final. So unlike in previous years where Manchester United actually got a half-decent result against them in one leg but were beaten in the other, they might actually have a chance of getting through to a semi-final.
Proper cup competition.
Yeah. Ball's back with Henderson under no real pressure, just sends it into Maguire. I think the Everton fans are getting a little bit irate. They haven't had too many opportunities. It's not been a very good second half, really. Here is Pogba sending the ball out towards the right-hand side. It's collected by Fernandes. His pass is off radar, and it's cleared away by Mina up to the halfway line. Maguire takes it down out towards the touchline. He just about keeps it in, then hurdles an advertising ball, jumps into a big canvas, and then gets himself back and over the advertising hall and onto the pitch.
That's SAQ for you. Great agility there from the big man.
That's brilliant. Very impressive, wasn't it? Yeah, he sometimes looks a bit cumbersome, doesn't he, Harry Maguire? But he's quite agile.
Had a bit there, didn't he?
Yeah. I might get him on the dance mat at Christmas. Here is Matic.
Maybe in 20 years.
Oh no, I can't. He's not allowed. Only one household around tier 3, tier 2. Where are we? Here is we're tier 2 at the moment, which is why we've got 2,000 fans. Although I think the Everton supporters that have come here, despite the fact that they're absolutely privileged to be here, as we all are, will probably be disappointed with Carlo Ancelotti's team.
Yeah, they've not been great today, and this second half's been bitty. But all the opportunities that are being presented for Manchester United players have not created one chance in the second half. Everton, and they've just not got the balance right. I'm looking at the shape now. What they're playing.
Well, Manchester United are about to play their trump cards, because they're going to bring on both Martial and Rashford at the same time, just to rock up the level a little bit. Remember, they've already made 2 changes, Everton, because of the concussion which was visible for Richarlison. It looked really poor.
Why has that not been brought in yet anyway, Sam?
Because IFAB have only just changed the law, and they've said that the trials will be allowed from the 1st of January, so that will come in over the Christmas period if the FA are granted the ability to make that trial.
ASAP, guys.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
No-brainer, excuse the pun.
Yeah. It really is a imperative that happens. And you're going to be, if you're an opposition team and someone's made a concussion substitute, you are going to be able to make an extra substitute at the same time.
Yeah, rightly so as well. Because in that situation, it's just ludicrous how that should go against Everton, that they've used up one of their subs already.
Yes. And also, if it is a concussion, it's an accidental head collision, then why should they have a pair of fresh legs and the other team not get that? So that's why that they've introduced the fact that both teams can make a substitution at that point.
Yeah.
Maguire moving up towards the centre circle, has possession for Manchester United, who have had decent chances here but not got in front. Bailly, who's found Tuanzebe over on the right side with a decent little run out of defence. Cuts back in, plays it against Bernard, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in.
How old's Cavani? 33, did you say?
He is 33 years of age.
He moves unbelievably well for a 33-year-old. He's so light on his feet, he covers the ground well, he's quite an elegant mover.
That does not happen to all of us as we get older, it must be said.
We won't talk about your 5k runs, Sam.
All right. Trevor and I are doing a charity run at the moment. He nicknamed me Tortoise. Here is Pogba down the left, looking for Van der Beek, who's in behind but can't reach the ball. It's gobbled up by Olsen. Look, we're doing it for a good reason. Michael Carrick, who's part of the Manchester United coaching staff, is the reason we are doing it. His foundation. We're trying to raise money for kids that need a lift at Christmas, but also football boots. They don't get to have them. Stuff that they need to maintain their fitness. They can't get underprivileged kids in Manchester and in Newcastle.
Great cause.
And we're doing it for that reason, but I must admit some of us are flying around in 21 minutes and some of us are ambling, it must be said. I'll let you work out which is which. As the substitution takes place for Manchester United, a double one. On comes Rashford and Martial. Donny van der Beek is replaced, and the other change is Mason Greenwood, who comes off as well. What will this add to the Manchester United dynamic?
A lot of speed, a lot of intensity in that final third. Pressure on the Everton back four when they're in possession, because the press will be there. Fresh legs.
Given away by Tuanzebe. Quickly on by Sigurdsson. Down the left to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Left by Sigurdsson. Arriving is Doucouré. Edge of the area. He had the awareness to find Iwobi, and he couldn't poke it to him. And Tellez stepped in front just in case. And Iwobi was arriving in a dangerous position. That would have been a real problem for Manchester United and Dean Henderson if it had worked its way through to the former Arsenal man, Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, really good opportunity to get the ball out to Iwobi, who was free about 15 yards out, and it was a good interception, I have to say, by Alex Tellez. Just got a little toe on it to direct it away from Iwobi, or else I fear that would have been a really good goal scoring opportunity for Iwobi.
68 minutes gone. You're listening to Talk Sport, and it's Everton 0, Manchester United 0. The one of 25 games over the Christmas period. Here's Doucouré trying to get the better of Bruno Fernandes. Calvert-Lewin spoons it out to the far side. A little bit too heavy for Iwobi, and it's going to run off the turf and out for a throw-in. And it's just not happened for Everton tonight.
It's been one of the nights where just that attention to detail on that final pass before they put an assist or a cross into the box, the quality has just deserted them.
The one thing I will say though, Trevor, is that despite the fact that it hasn't been their night and they haven't really created a chance and they've gifted Manchester United opportunities, it's still 0-0.
It is, and you have to say the chances that Manchester United have had in general have not been chances where you say he's got to score that.
Yeah,
I mean, not really
Cavani's had a couple of good opportunities which have been saved well by the goalie.
Yeah, but the angle was against him and he's done well to hit the target.
Especially in the second half, Robin Olsen's been underemployed, hasn't he? Both goalkeepers have. He's bowled it out to Godfrey, who's running at speed over the halfway line. He's continuing to go into the Manchester United half. He finds Bernard, left side, chops back. No Richarlison now because he had to go off after getting a whack in the head. Here is Mina. On to Doucouré. Back to Seamus Coleman. Coleman into Yerry Mina. And then it's back to Michael Keane.
Just a bit static, isn't it, Sam? You know, you're looking at the ball, you're looking at movement in beyond the back four or in behind the midfield, and it's just not happening. And it's too easy for Manchester United to deal with most of these attacks that Everton try and start.
Manchester United well protected with their back four screened by Nemanja Matic, who sort of acts a little bit like a crab, doesn't he? He moves from side to side, filling in any gaps that present themselves. But that's well won over on the far side by Seamus Coleman. He's Rob Tellez. He's moved to the edge of the penalty area. He plays it down to Dominic Calvert-Lewin again. It's just too heavy, and it goes beyond Calvert-Lewin and out for a goal kick. That's better from Everton, and the tempo set there by the captain on the right side, robbing a dawdling Alex Tellez and bounding down the side of the pitch into Calvert-Lewin, but it was just a little bit too heavy, too much on the ball. Don't think it would have counted anyway, even if it had resulted in a goal, because I think Calvert-Lewin was offside.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin's movement at the back end of that move I thought was really limited. He went in to go for a little straight ball, slipped one down the side, it didn't come, and then he stayed static. He's got to go for a second phase, a second movement, and as he gets more experience he'll start to understand that. But excellent play from Coleman down the right hand side. He was left a little bit short, I feel, by the setup by Iwobi, but he made that ball his own, and Alex Tellez was left wanting for desire, if anything. Got done by the Everton captain, and then he drove in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Excellent play, and if that's going to inspire his teammates, so be it, because that's what it needs, something like that out of the ordinary from Everton, because at the moment the ordinary is not good enough.
Eric Bailly's just played the ball firmly out of play on this near touchline. It's like he's already started on the Christmas sherry. Here is Davis back to
you said
King.
That.
Infield to Mina.
It is quite nice sherry, isn't it? I didn't like it when I was younger, but now I'm a bit of an old bugger. It's quite tasty.
Well, I'm pleased that you've expanded your palate. You know,
it's almost like a spirit, isn't it? It's very strong.
It's very sweet as well, isn't it? Ball is back towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's cleared away by Dean Henderson, high up into the night sky. It drops. Was that a handball by Matic? Referee has not given anything again, but Matic has got it just in front of the halfway line. He moves forward. In front of him is Pogba. Pogba with his gloves on just pushes the ball across the floor into Rashford. Rashford, who's had little to do since coming on. He's playing on the right hand side of now a three-pronged attack. Martial on the left and Cavani through the middle, with Fernandes just operating still in that number 10 position, but they haven't really created anything since the arrival of Rashford and Martial. Might do so now. Here's Martial into Cavani, prodded out towards the left, cross-bun Tellez towards Fernandes, comes through the area and flicked on by King. Godfrey doesn't take any chances. A really assertive header by him,
brave
out
as
on
well,
the near side and away for a throw-in.
Yeah, really brave. I think Rashford's seen the whites of his eyes and thought, well, I'll just let you have that.
It's the shoulders, mate. If you've ever met Ben Godfrey, it's the shoulders that do you back off straight away.
Unit.
He's got shoulders that look as if they've been sharpened by one of those old-fashioned pencil sharpeners.
I used to play with a player like that for Blackpool, Gary Briggs. He sharpened his head, his elbows, his knees. He was a horrible man to play against.
He was angular, was he?
Oh, not nice. I'm glad he was in my team. He did scare me.
Maguire up to Cavani. Cavani tries to flick it on, but there's no one behind him. We've got 18 minutes to go before we hit penalties, and that's the way we'll decide who goes through to the last four of this competition and join the likes of Tottenham Hotspur, Brentford and Manchester City. Here is Sigurdsson, the draw for which, by the way, is taking place straight after the conclusion of this game. You'll be able to hear it on the Sports Bar with Peregrine Groves and Jason Cundy tonight from 10 o'clock this evening. 08717 2233 444 is the number to call.
He's a good boy, isn't he, Grovesy?
Oh, he's a good lad.
I bumped into him in Blackpool before I started working for TalkSport, and he come over, introduced himself. He was a lovely chap.
Yes, very friendly guy. And he's luckily enough to be living in a tier 2 area, and he made the most of telling me that yesterday via text message. There's a foul on Cavani there, which wasn't particularly pleasant.
Tom Davis, he's left a real crunching tackle from the wrong side on Cavani, and Cavani was rolling around like he was in an awful lot of pain.
Andy Mandy's gone over to check on Cavani. I don't think it's as bad as maybe we first thought. There was a little nudge in the back, then I think he turned and grabbed Cavani round the midriff as they both tussled for the ball there, and he grabbed hold of his shirt and then hooked his whole body round the waist of Cavani.
Cavani looks like one of them players that if you foul him, he'll take it personally and try and get you back. He does look a bit sinister and scary to me.
Well, so far there's been not much sinister about his attacking play tonight. 15 minutes to go though, anything could happen. It could be a narrow victory this that ends up winning the game for either Manchester United or Everton. It's goalless on TalkSport, and Fernandes is flicking the ball through to Cavani. It's back to Fernandes' right side. On the angle of the area is Rashford, and he has shanked it high and over the top of the crossbar and into the first row of the unoccupied park stand away to our right.
He was just trying to feel that in. It's quite a delicate touch that you have to have, and he has got that. He just gets it slightly wrong and it come off his ankle. He opened his foot up far too much, and the ball's like just skewed high and wide over the goal, unfortunately.
And it remains goalless as a result of that. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't really had a sniff yet, has just headed the ball back into Sigurdsson. He's won it well ahead of Matic and Pogba try and go back at him, and it's good tackle by Pogba. It turns the ball over, and Rashford now turns and runs at the Everton defence. He plays it out wide towards Cavani. Cavani's 3 steps in from the touchline, midway inside the Everton half. He's being held up by Ben Godfrey, and he gets the ball back into Tuanzebe, who sees it all the way back to his goalkeeper. And Godfrey again showing what a good defender he is. He's been very good tonight.
Yeah, he's been excellent. Good defending as well, and great honesty from Tuanzebe. You know, the challenge there from Calvert-Lewin, he could have gone over and pretended he'd been hurt, and he just hurdled over Calvert-Lewin and cracked on.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has talked about the importance of this competition. Often it can be a gateway trophy, can't it? Patrice Evra and Nemanja Vidic won this competition. It was their first medals in England, and it gave them a greater appetite, a taste of what they could win. Jose Mourinho uses it in that vein as well, and so has Pep. Here's Martial down the left, played in by Matic, in towards Rashford, comes out on the edge of the area. Fernandes is not going to get there because Sigurdsson watched it and managed to skew it out towards the near side. Tuanzebe takes it back, and United have it once again. 14 minutes to go. Manchester United, who are in their best position at Christmas, closer to the top than they have been in any of the 7 seasons since Fergie left. Everton, who are having their best season for a while as well, but both these two teams have failed to produce the entertainment levels and the goal output that maybe we anticipated. Manchester United the better side in the first half, a little bit more even in the second half, certainly not as much of a goal threat. Rashford, Pogba, they both combine in the midfield area for Manchester United. It's taken through the centre circle by the World Cup winner, and then on to Fernandes, and out towards the right side to Tuanzebe, and Fernandes. When Fernandes is misplacing passes, you know it's not going very well.
Yes, I'm almost tempted to say this looks like it's going for penalties, but you just never know with the players and the quality that you've got out there.
When you were playing a game which was heading to penalties, did you know early on that it was going that way? Could you feel it in the game?
Yeah, I think if you were Manchester United, you would feel that with the amount of chances and really good opportunities to score they had in the first half, and it's not happening. You kind of sense that if there is penalties at the end of this game, it's going to go to penalties, because whatever we do, we're not going to score tonight.
Everton went out on penalties at this stage last season to Leicester City. Here is Matic into Martial, back to Matic once again, on to Rashford, a little touch to Matic, who tries to play it back down the left channel, but Rashford hadn't made the run, and neither had Martial, and the ball just dribbles slowly, rolls out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right.
They do look a little bit flat, if I'm being honest, Manchester United, compared to that opening half an hour where they looked sharp. The ball was movement, the rotation in midfield was great, the movement in behind to break lines was excellent. That seems to have dried up, and it just looks like a team that, like you said, in the last 43 days have played so many games.
Now, I wonder whether or not that would come in later on in the game. They do have Leicester City on Boxing Day away from home, live on TalkSport. They do have Manchester United a game against Wolves on Tuesday the 29th, which is live on TalkSport, and Trevor and I will be there for that one as well. And then they play Aston Villa on New Year's Day, and we'll keep you in touch with that one as well. Then Watford in the FA Cup before the big game away at Liverpool on Sunday the 17th of January. Here is Calvert-Lewin looking centrally, lovely ball into Sigurdsson. He just couldn't get it under control, Sigurdsson.
It's getting a bit lively out there. There's a few challenges that are just, they're getting physical with each other. I think there's tired bodies out there, and they're just not being able to close down like they hope to, so they're leaving a little foot in here and there. I like to see it.
I think they're probably enjoying the fact there's no VAR and seeing what they can get away with.
And to be fair, Madley's let him get away with quite a bit.
We've only had one yellow card in the entire game. We could have had a few more than that. We haven't. Paul Pogba is the only one that's been booked so far, and it remains goalless, and the ball's out of play on the halfway line. Picked up by Matic for Manchester United, who created opportunities through Edinson Cavani and Mason Greenwood in that first half. It didn't breach Robin Olsen's goal. He made a couple of saves as well in the second half. It's all been a little bit too distant and ambitious. Here is Pogba, weaving his way towards the edge of the box, and then he seemed to go past Tom Davies, and then he was brought down, and Bernard is complaining that it was a little bit of a dive after the event by Paul Pogba.
Yeah, I don't know why he went to ground there, because there can't have been that much contact if there was, and the fact that he beat that challenge, I don't know why he didn't carry on. There's hardly any contact at all, and he's almost gone over on his own foot, and if he gets that ball out of his feet, he's probably going to be less than 18 yards out.
It's a great bit of skill to go past two players. He seemed to be on and into the penalty area, but because he felt contact, he decided to go down.
As they say in these parts, he don't want to.
Well, there's a few Manchester United fans that think that about Paul Pogba a bit too much. Heading to the 80th minute of the game, Manchester United 63% possession, 37 for Everton, 13 shots to 4 Manchester United lead, but they haven't hit the target for a while. Fernandes and Telles will try to do that, and Telles straight down the middle over the top of the crossbar, a yard out of reach for Robin Olsen, and into the sea of big canvas flags behind the goal away to our right. It's heavily decorated, that park end, Everton and Magic, big green sign with white writing, the club motto, Nil Satis Nisi Optimum. Everton USA flag is there as well on the banks of the Royal Blue Mersey, a big blue banner, and Fantastico Magnifico separated by a big portrait of their manager Carlo Ancelotti. And now they found their voice away to our left-hand side, the Everton fans, with 9 minutes to go, trying to encourage their team to come up with a decent finish to this football match really which has been the preserve of Manchester United so far, with Everton only having a brief flurry at the other end. United on the ball again, approaching the halfway line. 82 on the clock. Sam Matterface and Trevor Sinclair in the commentary box at the antiquated Goodison Park. Here's Pogba, just forward towards the left, the Martial, back onto Pogba from Matic into the area, rolls his studs over the ball, goes out on the far side, touches it back to Telles. It's a deep cross, he's right underneath it, and it's going to go straight out of play and away for a goal kick. Away to our right hand side this Sunday evening from 9:30 on Talk Sport. You can hear the final episode of Talk Sports series After the Lights Go Out. Steve Harmison's presenting it, Leon Mackenzie is alongside him. The next instalment features a man who made his debut at the age of 15, Matthew Etherington, and that's After the Lights Go Out from 9:30 tonight, Sunday, on Talk Sport. And I heard a clip of that earlier on today on the drive time programme at about 4:15, and it's a very interesting chat with Matthew Etherington.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Goes into his gambling addiction, how he dealt with it.
Difficult, I've, like I said earlier in the show, I've never been a gambler, but yeah, I can imagine that is a really tough one, because it's something that there's no signs that you're gambling. And
he talks about that, exactly that. Here's Dominic Calvert-Lewin onto Iwobi on the right side. Overlapping is Seamus Coleman, headed away by Maguire, because they decided to go centrally instead, and then it's picked up by Cavani, helped on to Fernandes, skips away from Davis, plays it out to Davis with the outside, to Cavani with the outside of his boot. The return from Cavani not good enough, and easily picked off by Keane, who's retreating into the penalty area. And Manchester United and Everton both chose the wrong options in those two attacks. First of all, the ball into the area was too central from Everton. When they cleared it, Manchester United, Cavani couldn't return the ball into the centre for Marcus Rashford.
I just think the intensity, he's played 85 minutes. The intensity was just a little bit too hot for him. But I will say his initial hold-up play was excellent. The ball came to him at a weird angle, and he kind of controlled it with the side of his rib cage just to stop the ball going through to the Everton back four and keep it alive for Manchester United. Excellent play.
Why has he made this change, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Why has he taken off Telles and replaced him with Shaw?
Maybe he just feels Telles is a bit leggy and needs the rest.
There's 7 minutes to go before a penalty shootout, and Telles takes penalties.
Maybe you don't fancy him at penalties.
He scored penalties for fun for Porto.
Maybe it's a mistake then, Sam.
Maguire on to Bailly, who moves the ball down the right side. I mean, the only explanation can be that he's injured, surely.
Yeah, might be just feeling something a little bit tight, and if you've got that with a player who's played the amount of football as Manchester United have, you're going to have muscular problems, and you've got to try and safeguard that.
Strange substitution otherwise, because he has scored a lot of penalties and free kicks whilst he was at Porto. I think it was their second top scorer last season. Here is Maguire down the right side. No options in front of him, and he plays the ball poorly into Sigurdsson, and now it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's going between the two centre-backs. He's shrugged off by Bailly. I think he tried to buy a foul there, Calvert-Lewin, because he knew he wasn't going to get away from Bailly. Didn't work out for him, and Manchester United bring it clear. Yeah,
it was a good ball into him. I feel Bailly had a couple of yards on him anyway by the time he got the ball, and it was probably one of them where you accept that you've not got the advantage and just try and hold the ball up and bring your teammates into play, and he chose to go on his own and it backfired.
Rashford, Shaw again into the centre, blocked by Tom Davies, who's helping out his defence, getting deep and making sure that they are not breached in the final stages here. 5 minutes to go. Bailly charges forward. Mina comes out in front of Martial, just in front of the D, and stabs the ball away. Fernandes loses the ball, gets it back again, and retrieves it from Pogba into the area, looking for Martial, who falls over as he goes to hit it, completely air kicks, and it goes behind the way for a goal kick.
Yeah, possession of the ball changed hands about, I would say, 10 times in a matter of 15 seconds there. It's really sloppy play from both teams. It needs someone with a little bit of composure to get hold of it and just start calming things down and getting a few passes in, because at the moment the standard has gone right down.
And notice with Everton, they play the same team quite a lot, don't they? And I wonder whether or not, with it being so congested over Christmas, they might dip into the transfer market. They have been linked with Sami Khedira. They've also been linked today with Dele Alli as well. I know he played for Tottenham Hotspur this evening, but I don't think Jose Mourinho was too fulsome in his praise.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, that doesn't surprise me. But what I would say is, it just shows the kind of player that Carlo Ancelotti feels he can bring to this football club.
Well, they've got James Rodriguez to come back from injury.
He's got a calf strain.
Yes.
This game here now is crying out for him to come on with his quality.
Iwobi down the right side in towards the area. A diving header by Gylfi Sigurdsson doesn't connect, and it glances well wide of the goal. The move was probably the best that Everton have fashioned throughout the night. Out to Iwobi right side, moved towards the angle of the area, produced a cross into the box, and flying towards it was the Icelander, Gylfi Sigurdsson, but his connection wasn't clean, and it went well wide of the goal.
Really brave though, because he was flying into many bodies there, and it's one of them where you could end up getting a clash of heads, but he made contact, and possibly that might be the reason why he didn't get the contact that he wanted to get.
3 minutes to go. Talk Sport, and it's 0-0 between Everton and Manchester United. The penalty shootout is looming, and Manchester United should be pretty good at penalties. They've had enough practice, haven't they? 32 they've been awarded since the beginning of last season.
But they can't get the same player to take them every time.
Which is a shame. I actually today, this is what I do on a random day. I actually watched a slow motion video of Bruno Fernandes' penalty technique. Here's Cavani, might not need it if he can get a goal. Left footed, edge of the area, shoots towards the far corner. He has got a goal in the 88th minute of the game, and that could send Manchester United into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup once again. A ball towards the edge of the area. He cut in on his left foot on the 18-yard line, curled it beyond the diving Robin Olsen, and Manchester United finally take the lead. It's Everton 0, Manchester United 1.
Well, what a finish that was, and the word I've just wrote down, unstoppable. He gets the ball. There's only one thing: as soon as the ball comes into his feet with his back to goal, he's getting turned, getting the ball out of his feet, taking it a little bit more central, and then unleashing what can only be described as a curling drill into the stanchion. the right hand stanchion of the goalkeeper, and he had absolutely no chance. Brilliant finish, and you know what, at 33 years old, and he's run his socks off all day today. What an absolutely brilliant finish that was.
Off comes Doucouré, on comes Cenk Tosun, because they know they're going to have to go for it now, Everton, otherwise they're going out of this competition at the quarter-final stage for the second successive season. Manchester United heading for a 16th semi-final of the Carabao Cup, and they're doing so because Edinson Cavani has scored with just 90 seconds remaining in this game. Everton have got to try and drag themselves back into it. Well, it was a very good goal. It was a very simple goal in its creation, though, Trevor, because Harry Maguire had it on the cusp of the centre circle. He played a straight ball into a nothing area. Martial dropped deep, played it off to Cavani. He cut in on his left foot immediately and whacked it in from distance. Here's Bernard down the left side, brought down by Axel Tuanzebe right on the cusp of the 18-yard box. He gets a yellow card for his troubles, and it's a free kick.
I think he slipped. I think it was an honest, good bit of trickery from Bernard. He's got great centre of gravity there. He twists him up and he slips. He takes the man. Probably the right decision to give him the booking, because he did stop him in his tracks. But yeah, fantastic bit of skill from Bernard, who scored in the last game against Manchester United at this ground to put Everton 1-0 up.
Well, Manchester United have actually gone in front tonight, which is a rarity away from home, but they only have 30 seconds of normal time to hold on. I think there's 5 minutes of added time coming. Here's Sigurdsson in towards the back post, a header over the top of the crossbar by Ben Godfrey, who got underneath it, couldn't get it on target.
Yeah, it's a fantastic delivery, as you would expect from Gylfi Sigurdsson, right across the edge of that 6-yard box, and while he's fighting to get the first contact on the ball, Ben Godfrey's just got a little bit under the ball, and he's got too much on it, and over the top of the crossbar into safety it goes.
5 minutes of added time, and Carlo Ancelotti has just turned round to his defence and said, get up there, let's get the ball forward as much as possible, push up, get the ball up there. Bruno Fernandes has just run 20 yards offside here in order to try and drag Yerry Mina back, and he has succeeded in doing so, and it's helped on by Fernandes into Martial, taking it round Coleman. Coleman comes across on the cover and just about gets it away from Anthony Martial and takes it out towards the far side. It remains 1-0 to Manchester United. Martial tugging back, Coleman gets a yellow card.
Exceptional defending from Coleman there. He's facing a one-on-one with Martial about 12 yards out. He's read the little tip round the corner that Martial's tried to do, and then he's run the ball out of his box right down the line towards the halfway line and won a foul for his team. Brilliant defending.
Flick on by Mina, down the left side, away by Tuanzebe, picked up by Fernandes, infield to Martial, who runs forward away from Godfrey. Space for Rashford's far side, into the penalty area, onto his right foot. Rashford to finish it off, takes a shot, deflected over the top by Yerry Mina, who got back just in time, and it's out for a corner kick to Manchester United, who lead going into stoppage time.
He's got a knack of just being where the ball lands, Bruno Fernandes. He anticipates a pattern of play and where a player's going to head the ball. He gets there first, and that's why Manchester United just start to seem to get more chances and more control of the ball in this last 5 or 10 minutes.
Look, Manchester United deserve the victory here, I think, on the balance of play tonight, no doubt about that. But I think the fact that it came so late in the game would be so disappointing for Carlo Ancelotti. I don't entirely understand what Pogba was doing there, because from a short corner he's kicked it straight back to Everton, given it away, and there's an opportunity now for Everton to come forward up towards Cenk Tosun, and he collides with Harry Maguire. The ball runs loose, and Tuanzebe will kick it clear over on the far side. It's out for a throw-in. Yeah, one last chance yet.
Yeah, we mentioned that space between Godfrey and Michael Keane in the first half, how in the opening 5-10 minutes they kept on getting in down that side, and they seemed to have stopped that. And just on that occasion when Cavani picked up the ball in that position, there was just no one around him. He took it inside, and he's almost got a free hit at goal.
Back to Robin Olsen, who will kick this long. Maguire backpedaling, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin rising to win it. He does win it. He just flicks it out. Either unorthodox towards Iwobi. Back to the edge of the area, space for Godfrey to shoot, takes a cannon off a defender and runs out towards the near side, but it's Michael Keane who picks it up. Actually he's left it because it's going to go out for a corner late in the game for Everton. Everton 0, Manchester United 1. Everton going out unless they can get this in the box. It's back to Sigurdsson delivers the ball towards the far edge of the 6-yard box, and Dean Henderson grabs it from the sky and pulls it into his chest. He's under a couple of challenges, so he drops on the ball and bides his time. There's a couple of conversations going on in which the referee says, come on, get on with it, but he'll waste the precious seconds, as many as he can.
Yeah, Coleman just give him a little bit as he took control of that ball with both hands, and he almost lost the ball. It probably went out of his hands for about half a second, and he was just relieved to get hold of the second part of that ball and keep it in his midriff.
One moment of quality settles this game, unless Everton can come up with something. Ball kicked away by Shaw over on the far side. Yellow card for him now. Ball out of play, and it's away for a throw into Everton. They're about 20 yards inside the Manchester United half, but they've gone backwards. It's launched forward by Iwobi into the area. Bailly heads it away. Bruno Fernandes with a lovely little take, and then flick into Matic, and then Rashford will run it forward. On to Matic. It's 3-on-2 actually in Manchester United's favour, and now Fernandes is on the edge of the penalty area shooting to try and finish. Kisses the top of the crossbar. It goes out and away for a goal kick. Rashford was running on goal, and he could have been played the ball by the Portuguese, who went for glory and very nearly got it.
And who picked up the second piece on the edge of his own box? Where did the ball land? Fernandes leaves the ball, goes and gets himself and backs up play. That takes a fantastic athlete to do that.
3-on-2 again in Manchester United's favour. Overrun by Rashford, but he's got it again. Feeds Cavani, back into Rashford to finish it. Saved by Olsen down low to his right, and then cleared away by Godfrey. Another opportunity for Manchester United in the dying embers of this game. They're going out of the Carabao Cup, Everton, unless they can find an equaliser. It's 1-0 to Manchester United. We've played nearly 95 minutes of this game. The ball's back towards the edge of the area, and it's cleared away, and across comes Rashford, and Rashford now will break, and Martial through behind Davis to finish it, slips it underneath Olsen and into the net, and it's 2-0. Everton caught high up the pitch trying to get the equaliser, and Anthony Martial and Manchester United punish them ruthlessly and guarantee their place in the last 4 of the Carabao Cup. It's Everton 0, Manchester United 2.
Yeah, it's Anthony Martial's marquee finish coming in from the left. The ball, great weight of pass to him. He takes it first time and just slots it in the right hand side on the floor, opens his foot up, and it's a really composed finish. And you know what, that's the squad difference. You know, you bring on Rashford and Martial, both of them could have scored in the dying seconds, and that's what Everton lack.
Well, Everton will raise this question: should Edinson Cavani have been on the pitch after grabbing Yerry Mina by his teeth in the second half, and then going on to win the game with a spectacular effort from the left, his left foot cutting in from the right side of the Everton penalty area? Anthony Martial got the second clinching goal in stoppage time. Manchester United deserved the victory. Everton will be disappointed with their performance overall, but Manchester United will be celebrating. It's a 4th semi-final in a year for Manchester United and the much maligned Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Can they go one step further this year and win a first trophy under the Norwegian? They won't have to wait long to see if they can get to the next stage. The semi-finals are in January. It's finished Everton 0, Manchester United 2.